I guess. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm assuming everyone can hear me now. Do we have anyone in chat yet? No. Okay. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome. My name's Isaac, and I'm here to walk you through the Java web development for Launch Code 101. Pleasure to have you. Pleasure to have you here. Now, just to kind of give you a heads up, this is going to be geared mostly towards my LC101 students who have done the JavaScript web development. If you have, this should be fine. If you somehow stumble across this recording, that's fine too. Feel free to use it. We're just going to be going through the very first two chapters here, introduction and setup. Sorry about that. And the data types. So these two are very, very, very intro levels. They're not going to be like, a huge thing to do. It's just essentially making sure that you're set up properly and making sure that you understand the different data types that go in place in Java. So we will begin. Yeah, quick question before I begin. I see I have one concurrent viewer. Can you just let me know if you can actually hear me or if something is going wrong? Like, can you hear me at all? Okay. And we'll wait to get back to hear back from that. Okay, perfect. So thank you, Antonio, for being here. So hang on. Okay, sorry about that. I had to cough a bit. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started now. So introduction and setup. So first of all, why learn Java? Java is honestly a very widely used tool in the development world. You'll see it in a lot of locations. It's a very enterprise level language. And while it's usually more geared towards senior development, it does help to be at the very least familiar with it. Um, Widely used across the globe. Designed for this course is designed for learners who are already familiar with at least one programming language. So if you're watching this stream, all two of you, you should be familiar with JavaScript. Perfect. And how does one write a for loop in Java? Well, that's what we're going to be learning. So, again, as with any course, learning the fundamentals is key. Once you learn one language, learning others becomes easier. I will add this one caveat. So, there's a difference between object-oriented languages and then languages that are more loosely typed, like Python or JavaScript, and you'll see some of those differences as we proceed through the lessons, but I just want to throw that out there. It'll be somewhat similar. The concepts will transfer to. There will just be a little more strict rules applied. So we will be downloading IntelliJ IDE to get familiar with the tools, and we'll use Spring Boot. That is a Java framework which gives us the scaffolding to create a necessary MVC program. Another concept we'll cover effectively and efficiently. So first of all, we're going to go through our setup. So for 12.1.2.1, we're going to be installing our Java Development Kit, or our JDK for short. So here we have a very basic step-by-step process on how to download it. But essentially, we're going to be writing code in Java. The code is passed through a compiler. Well, hang on. Let me stop right there and let me get back to the beginning of this chapter. So while the compiler is responsible for processing Java code into machine-readable code, the JVM allows us to run that code on any computer. These tools together, downloaded as the JDK, give us the mean to write, compile, and run Java on our machines. So here's a step-by-step walkthrough of the process. So number one, we write our code in Java. Number two, the code is passed through the compiler program. Number three, the compiler translates Java into bytecode, a language readable by the JVM. In the JVM, bytecode is translated to machine code, and then your computer reads and executes the machine code. So the JVM gives Java more flexibility than other compiled programming languages because it will translate bytecode into the appropriate machine code depending on the operating environment. And just to kind of give you a small view as to what that looks like. This is a sample of what bytecode looks like. Advanced Java bytecode tutorial, JRebel and XRebel by Perforce. So we're not going to be writing 0000140000101B1, right? That's just not what we're going to do. And let's see what machine code looks like. I'm curious. Yeah, it's about what I expected. 01010001. Yeah, so I don't know about you, but I can't translate zeros and ones into anything that makes remote sense. So we're just going to say, hey, JavaScript gets converted into bytecode, which looks like this. Then this gets converted into machine code, which looks like this. Then the machine knows, oh, this is what I have to do. Simple. So we'll go ahead and install the JDK. We're going to open a terminal on our machine and enter this command, java dash version. And let's see, is it this one? No. Let's see, not that one. Should be this one. There we go. Okay, perfect. There we go. Okay, so here is our laptop. We're going to do java dash version. And as you can see, I'm running 1.8.0 underscore 301. Simple enough. If it returns a major version 15 or higher, but not as high as 15, we can move on to the section below, Java in terminal. If we don't have Java 15, we can download it here, which are just the Oracle docs. Fairly simple. Just scroll down here, and there should be an older repository for older versions of Java, because here it's showing Java 17. Let's see. Java 15, there we go. And here's the JDK. Here we go. And you would want to download this 64 installer. And what version was I on? Let's see. I am on a very old version apparently. So let's just go ahead and update. Yes, everyone always review those terms and conditions. Oof, of course. We're just going to pretend that I already did this. Let's go back here. Okay, so Fine. Now, you know what? I need to put y'all through this because I've been through this before and it is a pain, but we can get through this. Let's see. Yeah, I forgot my password. And let's go ahead and get that done. Thank you, Antonio, for that. I appreciate it. So I had said we have 4 viewers online. Thank you very much for being here. So we are now downloading the latest JDK for 15.0.2. In the meantime, while I'm doing this, feel free to, just say hi to everyone else currently in chat. Let's see, is it this one? Nope, not that one. This one. There we go. Okay. So now we get the fun of updating Java live on stream. Let's see. Okay. Hang on. Let's see if I can do this, maybe. Let's see. Okay. Okay, perfect. So you should see it somewhere up here. Just go ahead and put that down there. And we're just going to click next. There we go. Yeah, install there. That's fine. And now we wait. Wilbert, can you hear me now? Let's see. I'll wait. Okay. So installed. We'll just go ahead and hit close here. And we'll go from there. So now when we go back into our IDE, we can actually disappear that. And is it that one? No. Is it this? Yep, there we go. Okay. So now when we go into here, we should be able to do the same Java dash version, enter, and running the same one. Let's try restarting that. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Now I'm running Java version 15.0.2, which is exactly what our reading wanted us to have back here. Let me disappear this. Okay. So we'll continue down our reading. Can you hear this, Wilbert? Hang on. Let's see. Yeah, my mic is picking up the audio. How about now? That is weird. Okay, so Antonio can hear me. Wilbert, are you still having difficulties hearing? Okay. All right. So the good thing is I do believe that this is being recorded, so we should be able to go back and watch this back anyway. Yeah, hang on. All right, so the good thing is, though, this shouldn't be too difficult. We're essentially just going through the setup, so we'll go ahead and move on to the next piece. Yeah, so Java in the terminal. We're going to write a simple hello world program and watch the JDK in action. In the future, we'll be doing most of our Java coding with the IntelliJ IDE. Okay, perfect. Let's see. Okay. So for Mac users, they would write a simple hello world in the text editor, create and save this. However, we are currently on a Windows device, so we're going to scroll down to Windows user. So we're going to write a simple hello world program and watch it in action. I wonder if this would actually work in Notepad. Let's try it. Okay. There's my Notepad. Okay. We're just going to paste that. And now we're going to File, Save As. And the instruction said to save it as hello world.java. Okay. Okay. So that's done. Whenever using this terminal in this course, use git bash as opposed to the Windows command prompt. Yes, so the Windows command line is useful, but it tends to kind of clash a bit with git bash, so I would highly recommend using git bash instead. So we'll navigate to where our new file has been saved, the bin folder in Java, copy that. Okay. Let's see if our path is already set up. Let's see. We'll just redo it again. So we'll go ahead and open up our files. And this is a lot of windows. Okay. So here are our files, and we'll put this down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to find our bin folder in the JDK. So that's going to our C drive, our RAM files. Is that it? And let's see. Java, JDK 15, bin. And that's exactly the path that we needed. We'll double click up here, Control A and Control C. And now we will go ahead and swap back over here. We need to open up our command line and enter this path. So now we'll do open up our command line. We will do set path equals percent path percent semicolon, and we will right click here and paste and enter. Oh, that's why. I don't think I needed these. No, lovely. See. I want to say there's an easier way to do this. Hang on. There it is. So you can always go here. What's it called? Environment system variables. Environment variables. Path. V. Okay. 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 And we're gonna have to close out our bash window and open it back up. But now we should be able to continue following the instructions here. And to be able to do Java hello world dot Java. Class not found exception hello world dot Java. ls cd ls Let's see. Interesting. Oh, you know what? I think I know what the issue is here. Let's go into, where is it? Desktop. And let's see. Oh, there it is. Okay, so now we should be able to do that hello world.java. And yes, indeed, we did see that even though we did have that little hiccup, I put the file in that path to make it work. Yes, Antonio, that is a quicker way to get around it. It can get a little annoying just because sometimes it doesn't work out the way you want it to, but it does help to know how to do that. So now our Java hello world.java executed as we expected. Let's see. Java does need to be compiled before running. Version 11 introduced the capability to compile single-page Java programs without explicitly running a command to compile. If our Hello World page program were more complex and contained another file, we'd first need to run Java C Hello World Java to compile, followed by Java Hello World.java. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and move into IntelliJ. So IntelliJ is an IDE, an integrated development environment. It's like a text editor, but on steroids. Editor. That felt weird. Moving on. It allows you to write and edit code and does do some fancy stuff in the background that you will get more into as we proceed in the course. For now, we're just going to be proceeding as usual. So to install IntelliJ, you'll go to the site, which is right here. Now, important thing, install the community version. The ultimate version does sound nice, but it is a paid version, so it's actually going to cost money. For now, the community version's fine. I've already installed it in mine, but the installation is fairly straightforward. Just make sure that you select 64-bit launcher and add launcher stir to the path boxes. Check next. Most defaults should be fine. Once you're finished, you'll see a welcome panel like this, or like, let me hide that. Is it this one? Not that one. Not that one. Oh, I do love it when this happens. Might be this one. Nope. There we go. Nope, that's not it. That is so weird. Okay, there we go. For some reason, that one is there we go. Okay. Make this a little smaller and drop it here. So this is what your landing page should look like. Hopefully, anyway. And we're just going to grab this and drag this to the side for a bit. Past that, though, we now have IntelliJ and we're ready to get started with it. Now we're going to do our very first Java project in IntelliJ. So click the next button and we're going to create a new IntelliJ project. We'll create a new folder to hold our Java practice file. Since we'll be creating a lot of small projects as we move through the course, we'll do Java practice. So let's see. First, we're actually going to that one. There we go. So first we're going to pull up our bash. We'll cd back into main, ls, and here we're actually going to do, let's just, I think it's mkdir, and we're going to make practice Java. Now when we ls, we should see in the P's practice Java. That's where all of our projects will be saved. And let's go ahead and minimize. Oh, screen got huge. What happened there? I love it when this happens. Oh, did something happen on my screen? Is it all dark for you guys? Yeah, something's gone wrong. Let's see. Not that one. Peculiar. There we go. Okay, we're back up and running. My apologies for that. So for now, we're just going to kind of minimize our IntelliJ IDE. Okay, there we go. So now we have our folder here, which is this one. Yep. So now we're just going to cd into practice Java. And it's currently an empty folder, which is fine. We have no problem with that. We're actually going to leave this at the top here. And we're going to continue. So now we have to actually go back into IntelliJ, which is fine. We're going to go. There we go. Okay, now on IntelliJ, and let's actually move this. Okay, so we're going to select the new project option from the screen. Create a new project. And we get this new pop-up, which I'm not sure if you can see. Can't. Okay. Perfect. There, you should be able to see it now. Now, according to the reading, there we go. According to our reading, we click new project, opens a new window with a series of project settings. This window is called the project wizard. There is a way to actually make your, what do you call it? Your IDE dark mode. I'll show you that later. But for now, we're just going to choose Java from the left-hand side. For the project SDK, we'll use our version 15. And let's see, we'll click next. Okay, so Java. Okay, there we go. Java version 15. Next. In the second window, the select create project from template, which will give us some scaffolding to save time. So let's see. Create project from template. Next. And we're just going to name it Hello World. The project location will be the same. And the base package should be the same. Okay. Now it's generating all that good information. And we have a huge window. For now, let's go back here into our Java project. So when we click finish, we'll be here. Below is your new project. Click on the item labeled project with an icon that looks like a folder. This will be the file tree. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so let's do this. Close this out and let me move this to be front and center for everyone. For us, there we go. Okay, so we click back over here. We have our file tree, which is right here. This little section here is our file tree. We have our source here folder that they were talking, com.isaac and main. This is your main.java class that they were discussing. If we come back here, let's see. In line 1, package com.company establishes a package. We'll dive into the use of a main function and main class later. For now, we're just going to system.out.println hello world. When we copy this, ooh, wrong one. There we go. Sorry, everyone. Trying to get used to swapping from Mac to Windows when I hop off work. Okay, now we're going to save. This is very important. Some of my students say, oh, come on, Isaac, I've already got auto save set up, so I don't have to worry about this. But, you know, it's better safe than sorry. You can always hit Control S, or you can go File and Save All. One of my students is actually in the chat who loves his auto save feature, so maybe he'll comment. Who knows? Let's see if he has anything to defend himself. Okay. So when we come back over here, we can click on either of the green arrows indicated above or choose run from the menu bar. So we have a play button, then we have this little button right here. Once run, IntelliJ will generate a third panel in your view with the program's output, which is essentially a mini terminal. So if we click here, and we run main. Yep. So here we have our hello world program, and here we have our system.out.println. Wilbert, I see you over there. Good stuff. So be very comfortable with this environment because it's going to be your stomping ground for the next 3 months and hopefully your next job. I will say this, be very careful about the amount of modifications you make to the settings and all of that. You can run a little crazy with it, but that's also how I ended up accidentally having my code run as, what was it? I think it was running as Internet Explorer for a hot minute before it got phased out. So yeah, be very careful with how many settings you mess with. Swapping back over to our code. If we continue, we'll check our understanding. So given the code below, which line is responsible for printing a message? We have public class hello world, public static void main string args, system.out.println hello world. Chat, which line is responsible currently? Talk to me. The delay on these delay on these streams is so weird. Sometimes I get like 5-second delay, sometimes it's like half a minute. It's just weird. Um but yeah, let's wait. See. Yeah, like I am on a whole minute delay. Wow, that's nuts. But for the check your understanding section here, oh, oh, I am so sorry. There we go. So the question was, given the code below, which line is responsible for printing a message? My apologies. The OBS software I'm using accidentally overlaid both on top of each other. So you guys were just seeing my code. But essentially the question is, out of all of this, which line is responsible for printing a message? Is it line 1, line 3, or line 4? I believe, okay, Wilbert says 4. Antonio is on his phone watching. Thank you for joining us. So, Wilbert, you are correct. System.out.println is the same as in JavaScript. It was what? Log, syslog, something like that. Hang on. I swear, I just worked on JavaScript like 20 minutes ago, and I've already forgotten how to console log something. Console.log. Yeah, console log something. Isn't that hilarious? So yes, you're correct. It is line 4. In the source code above, which line is responsible for defining the class? What do we think? Correct, Wilbert. So line 1 is the class information. Public is the access level. The fact that it's a class and its name, that's line 1. Line 3 is just the main argument and the main way to run it. And line 4 is just the printout. So good stuff. And now we have Java Web Dev exercises. The steps here will walk you through setting up a repository that you'll use to study sample code, work on studios. So we have to create a fork of Launch Code Education Java Web Dev exercises. And we will open it up in IntelliJ. Let's see. Okay. So fairly simple assignment here. We just go into Java Web Dev exercises and we fork it. And complete. So now we'll open IntelliJ. So we'll have the same information for project, new, open, or get from VCS. What we're actually going to do is we're going to close out our existing IntelliJ page. We're going to open up a new one. Okay. And here is our page. Here we have get from version control, which is get from VCS. Okay. So version control git, URL, and directory. We're actually going to put this in our IDE. No, where is the sample project? Desktop. And let's see. Save it to our desktop. Okay. And our URL will be this forked item. That's concerning. It didn't automatically drop me in my fork. Go to my repositories. Go to project. Oh, I love it when this happens. The fork not get done? Oh, there it is. Java web. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we'll just copy this URL, open IntelliJ back up, paste, and cool. Ugh, great, so I do have to make a new one. Okay, let's just do a new folder. We'll call this Java Project 2021. Okay, and clone. There we go. So now it's successfully running. Would you like to create an IDEA project for the sources you have checked out? Let's see what this says. Yep. So if you haven't already logged in from to GitHub, I would recommend you do so. You can just log in fairly simply. It's not a huge thing. Just use your username and password. Never do that on stream because that's how you get a lot of weird stuff going on. Fair warning. Same thing that we just did. A URL in an empty folder. It'll ask about other settings. Select next. Okay, we'll just accept all the defaults. So yes. Next. 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 Here, you're going to want to be careful. I have 1.8, but I'm going to switch over to 15. Next. And finish. And let me go ahead and see if I can do this. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So I'm just going to, I always like seeing the tips on startups, so I'm just going to close it. For now, I'll swap back over to my web dev exercises. Let's see. We double click on the hello profile in our tree. So we'll just go here, open up our folders, source, org, double click in hello. And according to this, we need to run hello main, our drop down. So same thing we did last time, run hello main. And yep, ran without any issues. Okay, let's continue down the list. We didn't encounter any of these issues. Can anyone in chat let me know if you've encountered any of these issues or have had any of these difficulties? Oh, let me. I have to remember. Let's see. Is it? There we go. Has anyone encountered any of these issues at all? See. I don't think it's necessarily a case of you having to download something. I think it might be a case of, like, mine ran without any issues. If you are encountering any of these issues, I would highly recommend going through these troubleshooting issues. Let's see. From the bottom right-hand corner, like an extension. Okay, let's take a peek at that. Okay. I mean, my build ran pretty successful, Antonio. Uh, let's see. And now we wait. Yeah. But, you know, TLDR, if you're having any issues with this, Slack me directly or leave a comment here. Um, if you have these issues, if not, then you should be fine. I think, Antonio, you might have been missing a piece, but we're fine. We're just gonna scroll through these. Let's go ahead and go into our Java naming conventions. Now, Java has some very straightforward naming conventions. They're universally used by Java programmers. They differ sometimes, but it's generally simple enough to go. Your package name will be in all lowercase. Your class will always start with an uppercase. So scanner, system, cello, whatever. Your method will always be camel case, which you're familiar with. Like if you have next word, n would be lowercase, word, the W in word would be capitalized. And instance variable will start with a lowercase and use camel case. And the constant will be all uppercase letters, words separated by underscores. So max int would be max underscore int, all capitalized. If you're not 100% sure on which one to use, feel free to refer to this particular piece right here, but you should be fine. Now we're going to go ahead and get into data types. Now, we have been going for about an hour now. I'm not sure. I'll leave it up to the stream and to the masses. Do we want to continue or would we rather continue tomorrow? Oh, you can create a poll. Cool. Okay. So it looks like most of the chat that's here is very interested in they have other things going on, which is 100% fine. At the end of the day, this is to help you all kind of get a head start on the next piece because I mean, as you're all aware, uh launch code will really hit you very quickly. So we will continue with section 2 data types tomorrow. In the meantime, if you have any questions, comments or concerns, feel free to reach out and we'll go from there. Antonio, Wilbert, you're both awesome for showing up today. Unnamed third party that I'm not 100% sure who it is because I don't know how to see who's in my stream currently. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate all of you. You've been great, and we'll continue again tomorrow. Have a great evening and stay safe.